Hello, everyone. Thank you, and welcome to Messages for Lightworkers. It is our 123rd episode with my beautiful co-host, Marina, Heart-Centered Tarot, and I am Val, Dragonfly Crystals. And I am excited for today's show because we're going to open it up to some of you in the chat. What is it you would like us to talk about, to discuss, and maybe do a deeper dive into things that you are wondering about in terms of your light worker spiritual journey? Not personal questions, but in the realm of something that can really address everyone's journey. So with that having been said, keep that on the back burner and think of what you might want to talk about, because we're going to go forward with some of the things that came to us, and we were talking backstage. In particular, I have to say, the guides kind of came in and said, how do you shift your consciousness out of that lower state of perspective when you're locked into something and you're just kind of going around and you're not seeing things at the highest perspective? Because sometimes when you're down there in that lower state, it includes fear or doubt, resentment or confusion. And when you're down there, it's hard to see there are other ways to look at things, other perspectives, higher perspectives. Right, Marina? And one of the first steps to getting out of that is to really take the lens of judgment off yourself and just observe it, right? Exactly. And so this cracks the door open to possibilities when you do that, when you take that whole judgment thing out and wonder, there must be a higher way to look at this. There must be a higher perspective about whatever situation, work situation, whatever it may be. So then the next thing you might do is invite the higher self to step in. And your higher self always accesses the bigger picture. And that's what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Right, Marina? And when you can be in observation mode, which is not locked into the drama, you're kind of out of it. It's going, oh, look at this.
Yeah, you're not wedded to the outcome, whatever it might be. You're just kind of like, interesting. Okay.
Exactly. Interesting. So you're free to access your higher self and possibly see a higher perspective. So there is also, we're going to bring in a little invocation that can help you just tap into that higher state, that possibly, when maybe not right in the situation, but later you can say this to yourself. But using the power of the present moment, because it's hard to be stuck in a drama, a 3D drama that's outside yourself. If you're in your own present moment, it may be something, I don't know if you've experienced it, but if you're in your own energy and you're bringing your awareness, your consciousness back into you, you can't be invested out there in the 3D things going on. You can't do both. It doesn't.
Exactly.
You don't realize it, but that is when you're projecting your consciousness outside of you and you're in these little drama, you're not in your own space. So that's pretty key to understand the subtlety of that. Well, yeah, I am. I'm here and I'm aware of myself. Well, no, you're reaching outside yourself with your energy. Tapping into XYZ, and you want to bring yourself back.
It's kind of like, remember when everybody was taking those old home movies?
Yeah.
And you would have a chance to watch it back?
Yeah.
It's the difference between being in the movie and sitting back and watching it.
Yeah.
And when you sit back and watch it, you could say, oh, gee, I didn't realize so-and-so was there. Look. And
it's a whole different perspective when you're in that observation. I love that analogy. It's beautiful. That's a great way to explain it. Um, and using that power of the present moment is extremely important and a quick way
Yeah.
to get results by shifting into that. And, you know, naming the idea that the opposite is true. So whatever your lower story is, whatever that lower drama story is, it's usually the truth is going to be the opposite. It is always going to be, turn that around, because it's always going to be the opposite. If you're thinking, oh, they, I don't know what, they must not like me. They blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? They probably had a bad day and they're just,
Yes.
just turn all that around, whatever that is, whatever that story is. I don't care what it is. Realize that you are not that story.
Yeah.
So if you feel stuck, you say, I am an infinite field of possibilities. If you feel unloved, say, I am love. I am deeply supported by unseen forces. This dual awareness builds new neural pathways in your higher perspective. So you will go there. As you start to practice this, you will keep going there. So it's a choice. Choosing a different frequency. You can do it through movement, walking, stretching, shifting your energy by dance. Whatever that is, sound, chanting, sacred music raises your vibration. Gratitude, your journals, your lists, 3 grateful things you're grateful for, rather. And physicality, being physical, lifts you out of that lower field. You can't get up and dance around and be in a lower person.
Unhappy. Exactly. Yeah. Put on some Celtic music, where people are clapping, and try to stay still.
You can't. You're going to get up and move, and you're going to move energy. You're going to move energy in your body, and you can't stay. Your smile's going to come on your face, and that's just how it is. It's pretty powerful to do it that way. And so as far as dialogue between the selves, shadow integration, letting that lower self speak. Yeah, it spoke, and now you've nurtured it, you played with it, you danced with it. Okay, allow your higher self to respond with wisdom and compassion and clarity. It's not about rejecting a part of you. You aren't. I'm saying you're embracing that shadow. You're letting it come in. You're nurturing it by dancing around. You're including everything in. You haven't said, oh, I can't feel that way. No, just get up and dance around, put some music on without any dialogue about, oh, I'm doing this for this purpose or I'm whatever. No, don't judge anything. Just do it because it works. And practice everything until it's familiar, because you'll create right, Marina? You'll create a pathway that will be your normal state of reacting, not reacting, but understanding and moving through something like that and really getting the wisdom. So
change the tape. If you don't like the tape that plays in your head, change the tape until the new one becomes your default.
Exactly. I love that.
It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much.
So the consciousness elevation is a practice, not a single event. And over time, you will develop a muscle for seeing that higher perspective. You'll recognize the old patterns faster. Oh, look at that again. It circled back around. You'll recover more gracefully. And you'll choose meaning that you aren't going to explode in front of someone and embarrass yourself. But I mean, there is no embarrassment. You're okay, no matter what. So you'll see options that others don't too, as you broaden that perspective and go to that higher truth. So you are never truly stuck. You are simply standing in a hallway between truths, choosing to open a different door. Then you'll remember who you are. Basically, that's really what it's about. You're just remembering who you are, right, Marina? And I know you pulled some great cards to go. It ended up going with this, even though you pulled them.
I know it absolutely did. It absolutely did. And I just very quickly, I just want to say hello to Anita Kay and Joan Baker. Joan's got a great question.
Oh, good.
Garnet McLeary, Kel Bell, Arlene Forney, Tinkerbell, Barb P, Robert Cornell, Annie Hamlet, Mary Alice Waters, Joan Baker, Gemini Jill, Dawn Turner. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely.
And yes, I'll tell you about the cards that I got because it goes along with Val's message, definitely. But yeah, we for those of you who came in a little later, we're not going to be doing personal readings. But if you have a question about your light work or some of the challenges that you're having in terms of light work, put it in. We'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. So what I got going along with Val's message about being able to step back was enlightenment, right? We are all going through a sense of enlightenment where we grow every single day with every single situation that comes our way. We become more and more attached to spirit, in line with spirit. We tend to we just grow with it. And so after I got that card, I picked another deck and I said, okay, well, can you give me a little more information on that? And what I got was double mission. Mm-hmm. And this is from the Starseed Oracle. And the message at the bottom is Lightworker Starseed. Serve the world by being you. So you don't have to be like someone else. You don't have to pretend to be anything other than what you are. When you bring your genuine self to the table, it's perfect. That's what the universe is looking for. That's what the people who are watching you are looking for.
Exactly.
Right? Because sometimes people observe us and we don't realize maybe the impact that we might have on them, because they are observing. They're paying attention to how we do things. How do we respond? And then they take it in and go, well, okay, well, maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. So, there you go. The next card that I got was illumination. Okay. So yeah, we've got enlightenment and illumination. And what went with illumination was, I think you pronounced that Hireth? Could be that too.
I'm going with your pronunciation.
Whatever. Yeah. If I butchered it, please correct me. And it says longing for home, homesickness for the stars. And I think sometimes that's why we feel a little disenchanted, where we have those moments where it's like, I have things that I have to do, and today is just, I don't know if today is the day. And I think that's because we do, especially when we're dreaming, when we are closer to spirit and when we are returning home, right? It's a nice place to be. It's a nice place to be. So, become enlightened. Allow yourself to be illuminated. Be the light that you want to be for others in the world. And like Val said, no judgment. You do not need to judge yourself. You are no better, no worse than anyone else.
Exactly. So, there's no separation.
No.
Judging separates.
Yes.
Unity, consciousness, oneness. That's what we're all here to explore and understand, that we are anyway. Yes. But in the body, this is our fun time to see how that works out. So what separates us? Judgment.
Yes.
Judgments makes judging one thing against the other. It is just not a good place to be.
No,
It doesn't create unity consciousness in any way, and it makes you feel separate and alone.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And you're not.
and you're
You
not.
you're never ever alone. Your your higher self is always there. You could
Mhm.
always have conversations with your higher self. Um, so yeah,
I like that.
that's what I got with that.
I
So
think that's beautiful. That's
yeah,
beautiful. And I have to say, I'll just go to my cards too, and then we'll go to
yes,
our lovely questions in the chat.
absolutely.
So I got sacred purpose. Of course, it's for our sacred purpose that we're understanding ourselves
Yes.
in a more complex way. So, or not complex, in a clearer, easier way. So here's the nurturing you're doing for yourself by embracing. Yeah, that's your shadow side. Yeah, you're going to embrace it, dance with it, love it.
Yes.
You're on that hero's journey. It's going to include all of that. There is no judgment in it. Everybody signed up for this same thing. So
That's
review your responsibilities. You have a responsibility to yourself to allow your soul to shine through you. That's your responsibility. And
yep,
think about that, because that kind of covers all the bases.
does.
So
Yeah. It does.
it really does. So breathe in. Breathe in. When you get hit with that thing, you hold your breath.
Yeah.
Breathe, breathe, because you will breathe through the whole thing and go into neutral
Yes.
and become aware. Of course, you're aware in the present moment. You cannot be out there doing stuff. So listen to the wisdom of your body. When you stop breathing, you're
Yeah.
in restriction and you need to breathe. Start that process. Count your breaths, whatever you have to do, because that'll help you through.
Yeah.
And I love this question. Joan has, I try to see the good in everyone and try not to judge people, but sometimes it's difficult when people act up. My face and my eyes are a dead giveaway on how I feel about what has been said. Any suggestions? Well, you know what I practice, Joan? I don't have the resting bitch face, but rather I actually I used to practice because when my boss, oh my gosh, the outlandish things that would come out of his mouth, I would practice pretending like some of the things he would say, I would say them to myself sitting in my living room, and I'd practice my reaction. I have it ready. I'd practice and have it ready so that my reaction was unreadable. like like nothing happened, like nothing went in.
Mhm.
And you really have to prepare for your moments when you know you have something for sure, like that, and boss you face every day, who has a certain style and always says certain things. Well, you can prepare yourself for that, because I did, and he shifted 180 degrees. I want to tell you, he left that company and he wanted me to come to work for him in another company. This is how much you can switch something up. Okay, so prepare in advance so that you don't have that face that looks like you think that they just stepped on dog poo poo, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do. And Joan, I don't know that I would necessarily want to apologize to anyone, because my face and my eyes, yes, they reflect what is inside me. So if you have just said something terribly stupid, my my face and my eyes are going to reflect that. Like, seriously, really? Okay. So that is who you are. That is how you manifest out in the world. So yes, I agree with Val that, yeah, you can practice
The
someone saying
non-judgmental
something, yeah,
face.
outlandish, and you just kind of go, oh, that's interesting.
Just a neutral. Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I mean, to have that neutral face, because then that other person can't look at your facial cues and get all keyed up over it
Yes.
later.
Yeah. And then, you know what? Sometimes when people are having, hello, Lois. Hey, Suzanne. When people are having a bad day or a bad moment, and they're just kind of, they react in a way that we don't anticipate and whatnot.
Yeah.
So what I've done in the past is I'll take a deep breath and I'll say, this is what I heard you say. Is that how you meant it?
Oh, I
And,
love that. Yeah.
and more often than
Yeah.
not,
They'll back down.
yeah, they're taken aback going, no, that's not, is that how that came out? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Right. So
They can walk it back, even if that was what they meant.
yes,
When they
exactly.
hear how awful it sounded, they
Yes,
generally will reframe it.
exactly. In a much nicer way. And it puts them on notice. You know what? But the things that you say and do matter.
Yes,
So, be
absolutely.
careful what you say, be careful what you do. But I
Excellent.
think that the fact that you are so genuine that, yeah, your face and your eyes
It's a
reflect who
pretty
you are.
big
So
giveaway.
that is something to,
I
excuse me, to
really have
celebrate.
I have an expressive face, and I really had to practice hard to get that neutral look.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Viviani.
But thank you,
Yes.
Tom, for that. I love that.
Yes,
And Mary
absolutely.
Alice Waters said, "Why do I fight irritability more so when I'm not deep in my spirituality?" Yeah, that's a good question. Irritability. And you know what? Here's the thing about irritability. It can just be you not giving yourself enough downtime and nurturing your own body and energy, managing it, managing the energy you spend on everyone
Mhm.
else. And then you find yourself depleted. Then you get irritated because you feel put upon in many ways, but don't even realize it. Whether it's only you in your house and you're doing all these different things, whatever it may be, that is a sign of not nurturing yourself and your boundaries, your time. Only schedule yourself for so many things in a day. You don't have to be a superhuman
Yeah.
person. And also, know where your boundaries are so that you don't do overstep your energy level and what you need, what you should do in a day, because you need
Mhm.
your downtime. You need that time to regroup and feel good and nurture yourself. Then your cup is full. Then you're not irritable. And diet, making sure and God, I'm sorry, don't have so much sugar and caffeine because I love sugar. What can I say? But if I eat too much sugar, I do get cranky. So I know when I manage my energy well, I can keep my equilibrium of being happy and happy go lucky and laugh at a lot of things with my husband. And if I am running out of time and I have deadlines for things and I have myself scheduled out too thin, then I get snippy and it's not a pretty thing. I get irritable. So that is where I have taken it down to so many
Mhm.
things in a day. This is my meditation time. This is my relaxation time. And this is when I work.
Yep.
So that's what I would say to that. Marina, do you have?
Yep. Absolutely. And yeah, fighting irritability. We are not all saints. We are here to go through a
Yeah.
process of learning. So, you know, we are all going to have those moments of irritability. We are all going to have those moments where, we might say something to someone that we didn't really mean, and so on.
Mhm.
Don't allow yourself that time to be irritable, because sometimes the situation calls for irritability. The situation calls for standing up and saying, is that what you really meant? You know, why I've asked you several times, do not put the empty milk carton back in the fridge. Right? There are those situations where we do have to kind of give into it. It's a nice place to visit. You don't want to live there. So being a spiritual person doesn't mean that you never have those bouts of irritability.
Yeah.
Just, you could say, you know what? Yeah, that's a part of me. That's a part of my human lesson here on earth, is to learn how to navigate that, to learn how to deal with it, and to maybe learn how to express it in a different way.
And I found that when I used to come home and I'd be irritable from work, maybe comments or whatever,
Yes.
I would not hold back and I'd replay that irritability with my family. So I'm saying, in all of these kind of scenarios, once you buy into that kind of energy, you're perpetuating it further and you're sharing it with everyone, so that when you have your quiet time and you have your downtime and you feel nurtured and ready to go again, that's when you're going to feel less irritable. You're going to feel nurtured, because it's like life happens. You can't help it. Life happens, but you're ready for it because you're full. You can handle it. You can see from the higher perspective with a full cup of energy. And yeah, it certainly helps. Let's just say it helps. And of course, life throws us all kinds of things to see, is she going to get irritated at this?
Exactly. And Suzanne says, fill that empty milk carton with water. Yes. That's a good one.
I love that.
That's a good one.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marina, Alice. I love that.
Yeah.
Did you have more to say, Marina, about that? Or?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we
totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, who doesn't get irritated? Rightly or wrongly?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so Alice is saying, are light workers feeling like a yo-yo energy up and down with political stuff, or is it just me?
It's not just you.
I think it's just it's why we are asked now to step more powerfully into our soul energy and really be in that present moment instead of out there. There's been a big push to go inward and not pay attention to a lot of that stuff, which is temporary drama going on. It is not something that is going to go on and on and on. It can't sustain itself, and it won't.
Yeah.
So we're being asked to hold the energy, hold the space by. And can we feel the consciousness and yeah, we can feel that shaky, chaotic energy. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's not that, we can't. We definitely do feel it. And in fact, sometimes we can't sleep at night because it's just, we're feeling it all. We're feeling it all, especially the light workers feel it. We're not insulated against everything. We absolutely do. Yeah. Marina.
And it is a challenge. You're absolutely right. It is a challenge. Part of being able to kind of navigate through it is to take a step back and view it as an observer, so that I'm not going to put on blinders and pretend that these things are not happening. They are. They impact my life on a daily basis. However, I don't have to get emotionally involved in that process from one side or the other, right?
Exactly. Right.
I can simply see it as, yes, this is, I'm watching a play. Mm-hmm. And at this point, you kind of, excuse me, you know who the players are. You know a little more about the personalities. So you can almost anticipate what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
So rather than, when they do that, rather than be shocked, you can say, okay, Saw that one coming. Yeah. All right. So you're still part of the collective. You're still part of the energy that's going around. You can acknowledge the energy of absolutely like a yo-yo, up and down, up and down. You just don't have to be. You can just watch the play. You don't have to participate.
Exactly. You don't have to be a player on the stage. You can observe it and be in the audience.
Yeah.
And, the play will end. So, as does any good play, they do have an ending.
They do. Yeah. And just see things. For one of the things that works for me a lot of the time is humor.
Mm-hmm.
To see the humor in some of the things that
are outlandish.
That yeah, absolutely. It can get me irritated. But if you find the humor, then you just laugh.
So absurd. Some of the absurdity you can dredge up some humor out of that absurdity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. So
totally.
Thank you, Alice, for that question. And Suzanne's asking, do our experiences and lessons impact on the collective as a whole, even if not witnessed? Absolutely, absolutely. Everything you do does impact the collective. You as an individual, you as a group, like the Shine Your Light event, which is happening on Saturday. These are things, even one person meditating every day and sending light out is so impactful that this is what my guides and angels have told me. You have no idea how powerful one light worker is out in the world and how much you as part of the puzzle piece are important, astronomically important to it. So you are not insignificant in any way. You are absolutely part of it. And the collective will experience that energy like amplified so many times over as it expands out. So can you imagine the groups like Shine Your Light or other meditation groups and events that go on are just exponentially raising everyone's vibration who are tapped into that collective. So it is changing and shifting people like crazy. Yeah.
It is. And thank you for mentioning, the Shine Your Light event. We start on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that will be 4:30 Mountain Standard Time. It is just a great opportunity to spend time with like-minded souls.
Mm-hmm.
And we do at the 7 o'clock hour, as we reach 7 p.m. at each one of the time zones. We'll have a prayer and we'll set the intention to send out that light, love, compassion, unity to anyone, anywhere in the world who needs it. When we do that collectively, like Val says, it is magnified exponentially. So even though, at your particular location in front of your computer, you might feel that that little sense of belonging. And, when we end the show, it makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine that feeling magnified 1,000,000 times.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because there are people who are out there who are picking up on that energy and they are adding to it. Right?
Absolutely. It is just, you have no idea that in the collective consciousness, the way it works is people just pick up on thoughts that get downloaded into their heads as they're just connecting to the energy. So imagine strands and strings to this consciousness stream. And people are tapping in and they're getting these epiphanies, these downloads, these ideas, these feelings of love and unity, and all these things are popping into their heads and they're resonating with it.
Yes.
You will receive it if you're resonating on that frequency or you're just about to. These are going to be things that will switch you up and get you ramped up and ready to do whatever you're here to do. So, yeah.
And the concept, when we when we send out that energy, we don't expect anything back in return. We are simply sending it out there. So, you never know when someone might pick up on that energy, and it will shift their attitude about something that you may not even be aware of. Where they say, well, you know what, maybe I should be nicer to this person. They've never done anything to me. Why do I always kind of react in a particular way when they're around me? And, maybe I should be nicer. Just because we are not there to witness it and to see that, by this intention that went out there.
One intention, just saying that to yourself is going to shift things. Just that right there. That is an intention. That thought stream, that emotion tied to it, that feeling goes out into the ethers and goes into the consciousness stream where we all connect. So, there it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't have any more questions, you guys.
I thought that there was
one, but that wasn't really a question. Suzanne, I like what Suzanne says here. I created a skit in my mind to focus on instead of reacting or judging. And this is a great thing to do. Like Suzanne is saying, prepare yourself in advance for your neutral face. And that's interesting. Whatever your skit is, you play your skit.
Yes.
It's beautiful. And folks, it may sound funny, like, well, that doesn't sound authentic. Oh, yeah, it is a method to get to your authentic self. So,
yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And I am Lulu says, if my mouth doesn't say it, my face will. Oh, super, yes.
And so is mine. I'm so expressive that my boss used to try and read my face. One time he called me into his office and he says, do you realize what your expressions are saying? Like, he was let's just say I had a very young controller I was working for. It's like I had to manage him like
one of your children?
I taught him, like one of my children. And I taught him how to be a boss. I literally, I'm not kidding you, everyone. I really did.
Yes.
He grew up under me. He grew up under my tutelage how to be a controller of a big organization.
Exactly. And there are ways to do. I always find in an organization, the most effective leader is the one that you cannot immediately identify when you walk in the room.
Yeah.
The guy that has to come up and, I'm the senior VP of blah, 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 blah. Does not nearly impress me as much as someone sitting very quietly saying, hi, pleased to meet you. Oh, and what is it that you do? Well, I blah, 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 blah. Those are the people that most of the employees will follow into a war. The guy
nobody wants the bombastic, arrogant type. They want the approachable, easy, friendly human that they can connect to, right? Not the personality.
Yeah. Or the guy who says, no, my way or the highway. I'm right and you're wrong. Versus the guy who says, you know what? I think I misread that. I think maybe I piled on way too much for you. Okay, let me give you a hand. Let's do this together.
Yeah, exactly. So I see by all your comments, you all are feeling like you enjoyed the discussion. And Mary Alice is saying, y'all are awesome. Thanks so much. Y'all absolutely are correct. Thank you. I haven't been very healthy. Yeah, it's a work in process. That's what we're here for. in terms of humans on the earth. We're all,
Yes.
we're all
Yeah.
going through this together. And, we have to take each little segment that comes in front of us and understand each component. There are so many components to all of this that we try and talk about it in a way in which we can then go and apply it with
Exactly.
actual examples.
Yeah.
And
yes, Joan, we dealt with that a lot in banking. Yes, we did. Joan and I, during the members, Joan was one of the first people in, so it gave us a chat or it gave us a chance to kind of have a chat. And it's amazing how many parallels there are in our lives in terms of banking. Yeah, banking was one of them.
I was in banking for a little bit too, although I wasn't working as a teller. I was upstairs working for the controller of that bank. But there's a lot of layers. I'm a VP. No, I'm a VP. No, I'm president.
Exactly.
I mean, they're all titles, and everybody in the upstairs they think they have an elevated title, assistant, blah, 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 or VP. It's all about
you're a file clerk. You just happen to lead the file clerk department.
Exactly. I mean, they really are a very layer conscious organization, which is a little funny. It's a little funny.
Very, very much so. And I can tell you, some of the I have, especially in the banking industry, I have worked with some bosses who were, by the book. Like I said, my way or the highway. Do not challenge me or ask questions, whatever. And if I have done something wrong, find a way for you to take the blame for it, right?
Yes.
Versus the other bosses who, there was one, he was just absolutely a wonderful, wonderful boss. At least once a day, he would stop by your desk and say, how's it going? Anything that you're feeling overwhelmed with, what's happening over here? You got things under control? Great. Okay. Well, aside from that, every once in a while, if you're really busy and whatnot, he would come up behind you and he'd give you a little
massage,
little massage. And it was like, oh, thank you. I needed that. Well, right about the same time that he was doing that, they sent a lot of the managers on sensitivity training.
Oh, and now he can't touch you anymore.
So, he would that's what he would want to do, and he'd have to stop. And so one of the girls said, "What is wrong with you? Like, where's my back rub?" No, I can't
touch you anymore.
So here's what the ladies in the department did. We worked very closely with the law firm upstairs. And so they put together a letter, petition, whatever you want to call it. And it said, we understand that this man by this name is, he is not mistreating us in any way, shape, or form. This is something that we enjoy, and we hereby give him permission to come by and do that. We took it upstairs, we had it notarized, and brought it back to him and said, back rubs.
Go for it. You have our permission.
Yes. Yeah. No one is going to sue you.
Oh my God, that's cute.
Yeah, that was. There would be some bosses that don't get even within my, within arm's reach of me. But this guy was just so genuine. I had seen him on many occasions when, the girls would, whatever department it was, and I worked in the mortgage department, so we were always hectic.
Yeah.
When there was a lot to do, he'd pull up his, sleeves and he'd get right in there. What do you need me to do? You need me to stuff envelopes? Great. I'm stuffing envelopes. You need me to do this? Great.
What a great person. Yeah. That's really
would have followed that man. Like I said, would have followed him into war.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a wonderful human being. I love that energy. that
Yes.
willingness to, no matter what, they're not above anything.
Exactly. Yeah. It was he had a title, but that's not who he was.
Yeah,
He was,
exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of men, well, and maybe not today, but back in the day, we have had in our lives, and their fathers relate to their work. They think that work is them. And that is such a tough thing when they retire, or when they are fired, or when they have to change employment, or whatever that may be. Shocks their system so much that they don't know their identity.
Exactly.
Women don't have that, because we are the mothers, the nurturers, the caregivers, and then we have work. Like, to most of us, work is something that we get out there and do. Sure, it's not going to be something we don't like. Usually we're going to pick a career or something that we are okay, but we're not, this is who I am.
Yeah. If I change jobs, I just change jobs.
Yeah, it's not like that's not my identity.
No.
Yeah, we're not like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So
hello, Julie Moon.
It's 46 minutes. You guys have no more questions? I have to say, Susanna's saying, I have managed to change the energy and atmosphere around others that are standoffish by creating it in real time. Absolutely. That is alchemizing the energy.
Yes.
You're an alchemist, shifting that energy. Just imagine, bring that light in, and imagine light flowing, and you will see a room shift. You can do a lot of different things with energy in those circumstances. And you will see the room lighten. You will see conversations shift, where you will see, and some people get uncomfortable and leave.
Yes. Yeah. Walk into a room where everyone, or into an organization, and everyone is just very quiet. They're not focused. And, they're just in their own little cubicle doing their own little thing.
Yeah.
And walk in there, and it feels like you walk into something heavy.
Yeah.
So lighten that up. Hey, everyone, how are things?
Exactly.
How's everybody doing today? And all of a sudden, you see people perk up and pick up.
Yeah.
So, that absolutely shows.
That can absolutely change it. Even when you come in and you think, oh man, they're having an argument, even though they aren't speaking right now, an argument took place, and you just come in with that whole, we'll call it pretense of friendliness to lighten the mood, and it will shift the energy. It's pretty amazing how that happens. Yes, and starting midnight, I'm sorry, hi, honey, we aren't actually doing personal questions on this show. We were actually,
Go ahead, Val. Go ahead. Sorry.
We were just opening it up to spiritual questions that can help the whole audience, those who watch Messages for Lightworkers, in a very big way. And I think it's really important work that all of us are doing, even listening to this and getting pointers and tips on how we manage our energy every day, and how we can stay balanced and stay calm with everything going on. And, no matter how many times we say it and how many different ways we say it, we're saying it with a push to remember and lock in some of these details, so that it becomes automatic, so that you go to that place where you remember how to stay neutral. You remember how to act. And I have a little bit of an activation here for all of you. And it's about opening. I open to the higher view. So this is something you can say to yourself in those situations. And it's something that I'm saying for you now. It's a little guided meditation activation. So begin. If you're not driving, if you're driving, don't do this. Or operating machinery.
and hit replay. Yeah.
So take your 3 deep breaths. So take a deep breath in, holding it at the top for a few beats, and exhaling through your mouth. And another deep breath in, pausing at the top and exhaling slowly.
Excuse me.
And one last deep breath in. And slowly exhaling. Place one hand on your heart and the other on your solar plexus. Breathing slowly and deeply. I call back all parts of myself into this now moment. I anchor into the stillness of my breath, the temple of my body, the presence of my soul. I acknowledge the lower thought, the fear, the doubt. I witness it without judgment. I say to it, thank you for trying to protect me. You may rest now. I invite my higher self to step forward. I ask to be shown the higher truth, the expanded vision, the greater love. Show me what I am not yet seeing. Sense or feel what may be arising. I now activate my ability to perceive through the lens of love. I align my consciousness with divine intelligence. From this state, I see options where there were none. I feel peace where there was chaos. I welcome a shift in perspective. I allow clarity to flow in. With every breath, I rise higher in my truth. I remember who I am. I am a sovereign soul, a being of light, a creator of realities, and I now choose to align with my highest path. So it is, and so I rise. And that is that. Okay.
That was wonderful, Val.
Oh, good.
That was wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, I could really feel that.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm
Yeah.
glad. And it's something you can shorten it up and say it for yourself however you need to. Star Midnight does have a good question here. So as someone that comes around that has a type of energy that makes a person uncomfortable, how do you really shield yourself? And you're good at that, Marina. What would you say? How do you stop from getting that energy kind of coming at you?
Yeah. First of all, recognize that it is not your energy. It is theirs. And it cannot invade your space if you do not allow it to. So whenever I'm going to be around people, or I do come across people that are kind of that almost like little vampire energy, right?
Yeah.
Is I will stop, and after you do this so many times, it just happens a lot quicker, right? I will stop and I will imagine that there is white light that is surrounding me from top to bottom, sideways, every which way. I am in a cocoon of white light, and I will mirror the outside of that cocoon so that anything that is negative that is trying to come into my space, it bounces off that mirror and it goes off someplace else. And I know that I am safe and that energy cannot get anywhere near me. Do that a few times and you'll find that the person that you are dealing with that energy,
they kind of go away.
Yeah. All of a sudden, they're talking to their friends.
So
yeah. I don't get good vibes from
They're
that.
getting repulsed.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Mary Alice Water says the same thing. Yes, I put
Yeah,
myself in a bubble. Yes,
I love that.
absolutely.
I love
I
that.
am
So,
I
yeah,
am protected. Your energy is your energy. I don't need to embrace it and take it on as my own. That's not my job.
absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So that's just such a great, easy, simple thing to do. And if you do find yourself in situations where you don't realize you've taken in a lot of energy from other people, like you've been at work and
Yes.
you're just I'm the simple energy send I I return all energy from whence it came with light and love, and imagine that energy just flowing out of you. And I bring back my energy into my energy field, my own energy. Surround yourself with the pure white light. And I ask Archangel Michael, please cut all the cords. I don't even specify, cut them all.
Yeah.
And then I pull white light down through my crown and I say it out loud and I anchor into Mother Earth. That split second of doing that, and you are back to normal. It is that
Yeah,
fast. So
it
I
is.
love the mirror idea when you're at work and you have those people you absolutely
Yes.
know you want to put those mirrors. But if you're somewhere and you don't realize at the end of the day, you come home and you're all drained and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Send the energy back, pull your energy back in.
Yeah.
That is an excellent thing to do for that situation. So
And Suzanne says, how do we know that we have cords? If you react, if someone can still get a reaction out of you, and it's an unpleasant reaction, you're still somehow attached.
here's a crazy thing too, Suzanne. Every time we turn on YouTube and listen, every time we turn on TikTok, whatever it may be, the TV, we're cording. Every time you place your conscious awareness on something, you're connecting to it. You can't help yourself. You're an energy being. You're an energy being.
Mm-hmm.
If you put your attention, you're going over there. So it's good to cut your cords every day because what do? We connect to everything. There will be a day when connecting to everything won't do anything to you because you connect to everything and you love being connected to everything. But since we're here now, just cut the cords every day and it will make your clarity um, a primary asset because you'll go, suddenly I can think again and I don't have that chaotic energy. It'll happen like that and you'll know that's, yeah.
Yeah, very
So,
good.
yeah. When we withdraw, does that cut the cord? No. Just because you sent their energy back to whence it came, because say you were reading someone and you were close to their energy and all that, you send it back, but you're still connected to someone unless you cut the cord. Because, I mean, let's just say intentionality is everything. If you intend to cut the cord of every single connection during the day, that's what you'll be cutting the cords of. If you say, I sever all cords to everyone automatically when I am done with the reading, I believe in that power of intention.
Yes.
However you want to manage it, I believe in your power to say it and make it so for you. However you want to do it. It doesn't have to be my way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm just saying you have a great power to be able to say how you want it done. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Suzanne says she thought that withdrawing them blocks them. No, they aren't blocked. No, just all you're doing is clearing your energy. When you're saying I send all energy back, you're just clearing energy out of your field. That's all you're doing. That doesn't do anything to the cord that you've created. Just like, yeah, I mean, that hasn't severed any connection. You've just gotten you've got cleared your own energy field
Yeah.
as you just did. That's all. So anyway, it was a pleasure today with my co-host, my beautiful co-host Marina. And before we sign off real quickly, what do you have going on your channel?
Later on this evening, I'll be over on Cleo the Sears channel. We're doing Golden Girls Coffee Clutch, and that's at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then on Saturday is the 6th Shine Your Light event.
Ooh.
So please join me there. We'll have Mel Dore is going to be joining me. We've got Val is going to be doing the prayer and the intention. I've got Terry Renner is going to be doing some presentations. So, we've got a lovely group of people that are just going to be able to raise that vibration. And at the end of it, you walk away feeling so good.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a feeling that lasts for days. So, yeah, come for that. So that's what I've got going. And what have you got going on?
Well, tomorrow I have Arthur coming on at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to be reading. So bring your questions. No political. We just do spiritual, personal questions. Yeah. So that should be good. And I'll be happy to see you all there. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. It was really fun to talk with all of you in the chat and share and talk about those things that you have brought up. And we thank you so much for that beautiful energy. And join Shine the Light on Saturday. That is going to be very magnificent. So that's energy you want to tap into. So thank you all.
Thank you, Kimberly. Yes. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.